Hi everybody and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review. I'm Rich. Today I'm going to be looking at a beer that I found this weekend by Bonesaw Brewing Company. And the beer actually has an interesting name. It is named Call Me Chris. And this is a barrel-aged Imperial Stout. And this is the 2021 vintage. And it is coming in at, I believe it's 10.5 ABV. There is a story on the back of it. And now I've never heard of Bonesaw Brewing Company, which it's not surprising. There are a lot of breweries out there, but I did find the story on this one sort of interesting. Call Me Chris, whiskey and rye barrel aged Imperial Stout, a luxurious, sticky, and dense cornucopia of richly layered malt flavors produced by our double mash technique, then aged for over a year in Tennessee whiskey and rye barrels. What do you call such a notoriously big stout? Mr. Big? Mr. Smalls? We call him Chris. And when I read that, I thought to myself, wow, I have to try this out. And I got this at a distributor. I think this was Total Wines and Liquors. I was out this weekend and I saw it and I picked it up. And I want to say that the price on this was about $20.99. So sort of expensive for a 500 ml bottle. It is wax sealed, so there may be a pause in this video if I have a really hard time getting this open, because quite frankly, I've never actually seen or had a waxed sealed beer before. And I've seen the ones with the corks in them, and wow, this wax is actually quite a bit more challenging. Maybe I just hadn't been used to doing it. And the wax, I think it's wax, is coming off. Very dense, and I'm happy to see that there is what looks like a regular, I'm hoping it's a regular beer bottle cap under there. If it's not, well, I have to tell you, I hope this is good, because the opening process, yeah, it is a regular cap, okay. The opening process was quite interesting. I'm hoping I didn't shake it up too much. All right, and now we come to opening it. All right. First impressions? Ooh, very, very heavy smell of the bourbon barrels there. I'm not really getting the rye, but I imagine I'll get that when I go through and actually get a drink. So let's see how it pours out. Dark, but quite honestly, not as dark as I was expecting. More of a head than I was expecting also. In fact, I know I'm pouring it a little bit hard, but the carbonation on it is actually pretty vigorous. The head is hanging out longer than I would have expected for this high in ABV. But it is 10.5, it's not a 14, but that is still a pretty solid ABV. The lacing is good. It's definitely got some legs. It's clinging to the glass. Let me try to bring that up just a little bit closer. And you can see you've got a nice sort of caramel color lacing on this. The head again is sticking around much longer than I expected. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting the bourbon. Clearly the bourbon barrels, or at least in the nose, that's the dominant flavor, dominant odor here. That's really all I'm getting. I guess I can get a little bit of the underlying stout. Not quite as aromatic as, let's say, a Bourbon County or some of the other barrel aged there, but it's definitely there. I'm definitely smelling the bourbon. I'm definitely getting some of that barrel aged, aroma to it. Am I getting a little chocolate? I might be, just a little bit. There's some sweetness to it too that I can't quite place, but I do think it's definitely bourbon that I'm smelling there. All right, most important thing, let's see how it tastes. All right, there I'm getting some of the rye flavor that's there. I almost want to say that like peppery type of taste. There's a good amount of malt in there. They're right. It's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be mouthfeel wise. It's not sort of like coating the mouth the way, let's say, Bourbon County does. I wouldn't sit there and say it's crisp or refreshing. It's definitely a heavy beer. And as far as the alcohol content, this is a much heavier hit at least as I'm swallowing it, it's sort of burning, starting here in the back of the throat, going all the way down. So I'm getting I'm getting that sort of bourbony flavor to it. There is some of the sort of rye flavor as well. Yeah, I'm getting some of the barrel there. You can tell it was definitely aged for a while. It's not as smooth as let's say a Bourbon County is. It's definitely a little bit sharper, a little bit more harsh, and I'm not surprised since there is, you know, some rye component to it. And at least personally, I'm not a huge rye fan, so, you know, to me that's sort of standing out as the flavor that I wasn't really looking forward to. I was sort of hoping that would be on the back burner. Is it a good beer? Yes, it's got a great flavor to it. It's got a good, long-lasting aftertaste. It definitely hangs around on the back of the tongue for a while, so you can enjoy that flavor. But, you know, I have to tell you, of all of the high ABV beers that I've tried lately, this is definitely the one that I've come across with the heaviest burn as it goes down. Like, you feel it. Not so much in the mouth, because the mouthfeel is good. The carbonation is not overwhelming, which is what I was really worried about, because like I said, it's still putting out a pretty solid amount of carbonation. The head is definitely hanging around much longer than I expected it to. But man, the burn as it goes down, and then the sort of steady burn that you're getting your stomach, it feels like you're drinking a beer that should be sort of like 16 or 17. So I'm gonna say it's a little bit harsher than some of the other, you know, barrel-aged beers I've had recently. Is it a bad beer? No, I really enjoy it. I like the story behind it. I think the bottle art is wonderful. The flavor is good. The flavor is good. This is definitely, again, a one bottle type of beer, not only cost-wise, but because this, like I said, you can feel that burn in your stomach. This is one of those beers you're gonna sip as you go through the night. And I really do recommend, if you get a chance to pick this up, definitely worth picking up and checking out and trying. Again, a sipping beer, worth the $21 that I paid for it? I think so. It's not one that I would even consider not finishing. I actually regret that I only picked up the one bottle, because I'd love to see how it would be in about a year. Now, it doesn't say anything on the actual bottle about aging this. It doesn't say that it'll develop, it doesn't say that it'll age, but I tend to find that if you put the beer away, you keep the temperature good, you know, you keep it away from light, you do wind up getting a more fully developed beer, at least with the beers I've cellared in the past. So I have to say, very impressed with Bonesaw. Definitely one that's worth picking up if you get a chance. It's a good one beer for the night type of sipper, or even better, I wish that I had hung on to this to share it with some friends to try it out, but I did want it for the review. Let me welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. A bunch of people joined recently, and I really do appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share it. Any comments are welcome. And if you have tried this, I'd love to hear from you. With that, gonna finish this off tonight. Have a good night. See you next episode. Next episode is going to be, I believe, the 2016 Bourbon County. If I don't do the 2016 Bourbon County, then I'm definitely going to get one of the older Bourbon County adjuncts that have been out, that I've been cellaring for the last couple of years. The 16 is coming though. I'm just sort of saving it for the holiday, and I'm going to do a quick review before I share it out to other people. All right, have a good night. Hope you enjoyed. Gonna enjoy the rest of this. See you all next episode.